how much do you respect those that came before you?
Part of the reason why I kept Juice in my name wasn't only for Tupac. It was for 3 rappers, actually. Tupac, Soulja Boy had an old tape called the Juice Mixtape, and then the MC Juice.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was one of the only people to beat Eminem in a rap battle.
One song, that's all it took. Juice WRLD released All Girls Are the Same, went from broke to multi-millionaire overnight, and signed to Interscope Records for $3 million before most people his age were even thinking about careers. He was a teenager from the south side of Chicago, and suddenly, he had more money than he knew what to do with. So he did what any 19-year-old with unlimited resources and a big heart would do. He spent it on everything, shared it with everyone, and built a life that looked like a dream from the outside. The first major purchase was a $5 million mansion in California. But what made it essential wasn't the square footage or the luxury features. It was the soundproof home theater he immediately converted into his personal recording studio. That room is where a significant portion of his catalog was made, surrounded by his friends who were all staying in the mansion's 6 bedrooms. The swimming pool, the space, the creative energy, he turned that property into a headquarters for everything he was building. And he went on Instagram Live to show it off, half in disbelief, saying he couldn't believe this was really his. But even more meaningful than buying for himself was buying for his mom. Juice had set that goal early. Make it. Get her a house. His mother had raised him alone, and he wanted to pay her back in the most concrete way he could. When he bought it and she walked in, he went live with her beside him, announcing it to the world, barely holding back how proud he was. That moment became the inspiration for his song Relocate, which opens with her voice thanking him. He was that kind of person. The wins were never just his. The cars told their own story. His first was a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, $350,000, but not for driving. He bought it specifically because he didn't have a license and wanted a vehicle his friends could use to chauffeur him around in comfort. The back seat of a Cullinan for a private ride beats most things. Next came a 2019 Lamborghini Huracan at over $300,000, bought essentially on a whim after one concert show because he was bored. Then a Corvette for $120,000, meant more as a shared car for his circle than anything he'd personally drive. The common thread across all 3 is that he never actually drove any of them. Friends close to Juice said he never had a license, and some suggested he was cautious about being behind the wheel given his habits. Instead of driving, he had people take him where he needed to go. What he actually wanted to operate himself was dirt bikes. He loaded up on 10 of them plus 4 ATVs, all so his whole crew could ride together whenever the mood struck. He'd wanted a dirt bike since he was a kid, and when he got to the point where he could just wake up and go buy one, that excitement never wore off. He was as happy on a dirt bike as anywhere else. The jewelry was personal in a different way. His most meaningful piece was his 999 Club diamond chain. The 999 movement he built, representing the idea of taking any bad situation, any struggle, and flipping it into something positive. He described it as the inverse of a number widely associated with negativity, turned upside down to stand for something better. Beyond the 999 chain, he also wore a custom diamond cross pendant with a rose chain that cost $200,000 and a Chanel pearl necklace that appeared in some of his most iconic photos. For watches, his everyday piece was an AP Royal Oak customized with over 70 carats of baguette diamonds, valued at over $200,000. And he kept several Rolexes and Pateks in rotation for concert days when he knew he'd be moving around too hard for his main watch. He was intentional about watches specifically, treating them as a way to store wealth rather than just a fashion statement. He said money doesn't equal happiness, but financial stability knocks off stress, and the watches were part of how he held value. His approach to clothes was less calculated and more joyful. Supreme, Vlone, Off-White, Gucci, Moncler, everything. He did a shoe shopping episode with Complex that became one of their most expensive purchases ever, dropping over $40,000 in one session. He wasn't the type to overthink it. He saw something he wanted, he got it, and usually bought extra for the people around him. Before he died, he had talked openly about wanting to build a facility similar to MTV's Fantasy Factory, a warehouse space where musicians, rappers, and fans could come together and play basketball, skate, ride motocross, just exist in a creative, free environment. He wanted bands in the building, he wanted foam pits, he wanted the energy of people making things and having fun under one roof. he never got to build it, but the way he talked about it, with specific details, real excitement, made clear this wasn't just a vague idea. It was something he actually planned to do. What got in the way of all of it wasn't time or money. It was December 8th, 2019. Juice WRLD and his team boarded a private jet heading to Chicago for his birthday. He was turning 21 in a few days and was planning a celebration with his mom and family. The flight itself was longer than expected, with a delayed departure that his filmmaker Chris would later describe as suspicious. The pilot seemed off. The flight attendants seemed off. When they started getting closer to Chicago and phones came back online, the security guard texted the group chat. Cops were at the airport with dogs. Federal agents had been tipped off and were waiting to search the plane. When the jet landed, Juice received the text messages about the police presence and immediately became extremely anxious. His body went into distress. Body camera footage released years after his death showed that when the situation became critical and he needed medical attention, the federal agents' priority remained searching the aircraft. The ambulance response was slow. By the time paramedics were working on him properly, it was too late. Juice WRLD was pronounced dead on December 8, 2019. He was 21 years old. The response from the music world was immediate. Eminem, one of Juice's favorite artists of all time and someone he had cited as a major influence, spoke about him publicly, pointing specifically to the freestyle Juice did on Westwood, rapping for over an hour straight, calling his potential off the chart. That acknowledgement from someone at Eminem's level, someone Juice had looked up to his entire career, meant something. But it was his mother who carried the weight forward. After his passing, she described being flooded with messages from fans and artists explaining how Juice's music had changed their lives, how it had gotten them through things no one else knew they were going through. Feeling that impact, she founded the Live Free 999 Foundation, funded through ongoing revenue from his music catalog, creating support programs for people dealing with the same struggles Juice had faced. The foundation keeps the 999 movement alive in a real, practical form. And then there's the full circle of what his success built for his family. The house he bought his mom while he was alive became a symbol of what he meant to her. After he was gone, the music kept generating revenue, and his mother was able to purchase an $8 million, 17,000 square foot mansion with a movie theater, a full-size indoor basketball court, and a backyard pool, large enough to keep the whole family together so no one would feel alone in the grief. The home Juice built for her became the beginning. The home his legacy built for her after he was gone is the continuation. He came from nothing and turned it into everything as fast as any rapper in recent memory. A $5 million studio mansion, a house for his mom, a Rolls Royce he never drove, dirt bikes he rode constantly, diamonds that meant something to him, and a catalog that outlived him by years and counting. Whatever he spent his money on, he spent it loudly, generously, and with the people he loved most right beside him. Drop a comment. What's your favorite Juice WRLD song, and what does his music mean to you?